Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of Phantom's Cast. Today, I'm joined by two guys on my team. We have Alex Turner, aka Thyme Thief, on YouTube, and then we have Tim Dahl, aka The Real Vamp, on Dueling Book. You guys might have seen him in some of DB Grinder's videos, but you might not have heard it because he can't pronounce the name properly. Anyways, yeah, what's going on, guys? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on in Yu-Gi-Oh with you guys. We'll go Alex first.
Hey, yeah, what's up, dudes? I don't know. I mean, I'm just a local player. I play a lot. Tim and we prepare for events a lot. Past couple years, along with our other local crew. Chris, also part of our locals, valued dear friend. Yeah, yet to win an event, top regionals,
Nice.
local scrub. But yeah, that's me.
Nice. Tim?
Uh, I play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, and I like hanging out with these boys. That's it.
Right on. And so I'm having you guys on today because you guys have been prepping hardcore for YCS Providence. We have the new set, Alliance Insight, coming out. And yeah, you guys have done testing, probably both covered probably hundreds of games between you two over the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to bring you on to get your guys' insight on Alliance Insight because it's a complicated set. It's going to change the game a lot compared to the format that we have now. So what we're going to do in this podcast episode is we're going to go over all of the cards out of Alliance Insight, or at least all of the potentially relevant ones, and just talk about them a little bit. We're going to go over what impact it can have on the game, if any. We're going to talk about both the competitive ones like the Maliss and the Ryzeal ones, but we're also going to talk about some of the kind of newer archetypes or maybe cards that could see tech play sometime down the line, and just kind of get a little bit of insight on how those are going to look. And then after that, we're going to do a tier list for Alliance Insight format, specifically for YCS Providence, which is going to be next week, like May 1st or something like that. So yeah, we're going to cover the tier list of what we think is going to do well at the YCS, what can do well at regionals in this format coming up, and then what might just be a locals level deck. All right. So yeah, from here, I'm just going to jump into some of the cards out of Alliance Insight, and we're going to start off with what I think is probably the biggest one, which is Maliss P. Markshare. I know you guys have been playing a lot of Maliss. Can you guys talk about what this card really does for the deck? How does it change what Maliss is doing? Because Maliss was already good, and then it got hit on the list, and then now it has this card, and this card seems to push this deck kind of crazy. So Tim, what do you think Markshare is doing for Maliss going forward?
I think it's literally the only card they needed to make this deck as obnoxious as it is. I think it just makes hand traps bad, and now I think it gives this deck basically almost no flaws. I feel for the most part, aside from starter count. This is honestly probably a perfect card for the deck. I think it's broken.
Yeah, so this one's almost almost like a Bestial type card, right? So it's banishing stuff, so it's kind of an extender what Bestials used to be doing. Is that right?
Yeah. It's even better than that because it makes Chessy Cat a +3 for no reason. It's a broken extender. You can banish even the trap cards with it, or a card from your hand, so it's better than a Bestial too.
Oh, true. Alex,
and it doesn't care about splash mage.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna say it gives it infinite grind game, which is pretty good, and it also gives the deck a way to recover hand because you can add it back to hand along with the mirror too. I think it's a really good card, obviously.
Okay, and yeah, you mentioned the mirror. Is that this spell card, Malice in the Mirror? Is that what you're talking about? What is this one doing? Is it kind of is it a staple? Is it a tech? What level of quality is this?
I think the card's okay. I think you could experiment with playing more than one of it, but right now it's a combo piece, and then it's also an answer to Flawless or Lancia, because when you get Lancia, you could set this up, and then you add that thing, which sets up you use the effect negate, and then you also get White Rabbit from deck because you'll banish the red ransom, and that'll get you to the MTP trap that adds and banishes.
Okay,
So this card, I think, is like pretty good, and it's like I think it's mandatory for the deck.
gotcha. Alex, what do you think of it? Is it pretty good? Are you playing it in your build?
Oh, I mean, I agree. There's nothing really for me to add, I guess. I guess like 2-card combos, you can end on it in hand as an additional disruption, but I mean, it's a pretty good card.
All right, sweet. And then we have arguably equally important or more. We have the new Adagnister cards. So we have backup Adagnister and then Wizard. What are these bringing to the deck? Is it kind of just a separate engine or like it's consistency, right? Like one of these searches the dark cybers, right?
Yeah, they're all 2-card combos when you have an Ignister. Like they're not, at least the way people are building the decks right now, they're not going to be 1-card combos. But like Ignister's the perfect extender for this deck. Like they literally could not have printed a better extender. This card's really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, these cards are insane.
it seems like Maliss got like custom support in this set, and then
Yeah.
almost like Ryzeal's kind of getting left behind because all Ryzeal's really getting is Star Ryzeal. Have you done any testing with this card? Like, is this card only played in pure, or do you play it in any other variants? I feel like it's only a pure card, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, dude, Star Ryzeal's my favorite. Yeah, definitely only in pure. I think that's the biggest allure to playing pure is you get to play the Star Ryzeal, and that card's actually really good because it helps you play around like Droll if you start with Ice, or you can play around Nibiru while making Blast Dragon too. The card is just like incredible. But like the Fiends with Ryzeal and the Mitsurugi Ryzeal decks can't really play it. But I mean, Mitsurugi is a whole other thing. That deck doesn't need to play it because it's so good. But yeah, I think Star Ryzeal's really underrated though.
Okay, nice. So yeah, do you think pure is gonna overtake the Fiendsmith variant? I don't know. It arguably already did right before this format, but do you think pure now that has Star is gonna be a better route to go than Fiendsmith?
For sure. I think the Fiendsmith deck is like unplayable right now because of Maliss. Like there's just I also think it's like somehow less consistent than pure Ryzeal. So it's like I just don't think there's any benefit to playing Fiendsmith Ryzeal right now. Because like this deck just plays like really well in the hand traps too, like the Charmies.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like the Ryzeal deck doesn't really play that well enough.
Yeah.
At least in my mind.
Pure can play the 7th Tachyon card, and Fiendsmith is just not gonna have a good time playing that, just because of the lock.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think it's very that build. I've seen people play it in the Fiendsmith build, but I don't think it's very good.
Got it. All right, and then while we're there on the Ryzeal, let's talk about the Mitsurugi cards. We're gonna talk about like how these decks rank against each other in the tier list, but let's just focus on like, how good are these cards in a vacuum, like by themselves? Are you excited to play these cards and that kind of thing? Alex, you were playing this deck a little bit. What do you think about it?
Yeah, definitely. I would say Tim's the local reptile enthusiast. But the Mitsurugi cards are literally custom support because what they did is they printed the Ritual, which is a 1-card combo, which is searchable by King of the Feral Imps. So they made any rank 4 like the Mitsurugi combo, which is really good because they already played the Ryzeal engine. And then obviously Mitsurugi cards are insane, like playing into a board Raigeki, setting it up like infinite grind game more or less.
Yeah. Yeah, so they get this ritual card, and then they get the new level 4 normal summon guy, Aramasa, which can now search. It basically just searches the ritual guy, because the ritual guy is like everything for the deck now. So Aramasa is going to be able to just search the ritual guy, and then you kind of have full combo there. So it's kind of more back into the 1-card combo type of deal, where Mitsurugi, before this support, was basically a 2-card combo deck because you had to pair the spell and the monster, but now you can get both at once, essentially, with the ritual, with the Habakiri, so that's going to be pretty clutch. Do you think any of the other Mitsurugi cards are playable besides these two? Like, I know Mitsurugi Mirror is here, you can use pre-prep to search stuff now, but like, maybe at the highest level it's probably not necessary, but I don't know, maybe there's going to be some kind of pure build or something that people are going to look for, especially for like more budget options where you can play pre-prep and some other kind of thing. I think this Mitsurugi Mirror card is okay. just because it allows consistency. Do you think any other cards have any potential of play whatsoever?
I think that new quick play is like pretty good in the pure deck. Like I forget exactly what it does, but like I know it's like a pretty solid card.
Yeah, that one is Mitsurugi Magatama. I believe that one says it's like a quick play, like ritual summon, or you contribute
Yeah.
a monster to pop a card. And then of course you
Yeah,
get all
yeah.
the
So I
tribute
think that
effects.
card's like I don't know if they would play it. Like I feel like they probably would, like in a pure deck, and I think it's like pretty decent.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm personally, of course, you guys know I'm looking forward to playing these ritual cards. I'm hopefully gonna pick up what I need at the pre-release on Saturday, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, now that we've covered Maliss and Ryzeal and those variants, let's talk about one of the new archetypes coming out, which has a lot of hype around it, but I don't know how good it is, so I want to hear you guys' thoughts. And that's Regenesis. So it's a whole new archetype based around having 2,500 attack or defense monsters on the field. There's a lot of good ones that we can pair this with. We're looking at like Kashtira Unicorn, the Dogmatica cards, Bestials are 2,500. I've seen some paired up with like Vanquish Soul because Heavy Border is 2,500. So there's a lot of potential with this deck, and I kind of like the concept. Have you guys gotten a chance to like look into these cards at all, or have you happened to test against them at all? Like run into anyone playing this?
Uh,
I
I don't know
bet
that much.
somebody will play the engine, like maybe like one person will top with it, but you can't. They're so hard to play right now because like they don't really fit into the Malice engine very well or the Ryzeal. Like you can play it in Ryzeal, but it doesn't do a lot for you.
Yeah.
And the engine's really good though because it's like a mid-range type of thing, similar to like the Primites, where they have the infinite grind game because they add themselves back at the end of the turn, and there's no dweller to stop them from adding themselves back, so they're like difficult to interact in that way.
True.
But there's just no good deck to use the engine in right now, I feel like.
They do read solid though. Like I feel like if somebody could find a deck with them, like it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, the cards themselves are really good.
Yeah, I feel like it's
They
one of
have
those
like an Omni
archetypes.
Negate searcher.
It's one of those archetypes that has a lot of potential with the design, and maybe it needs just another round. You know, there's a ton of archetypes that come out where we're like, oh man, just one more round of support and we're cooking, but we'll see if it actually happens, or see if someone can cook something up with these, because I think they have good cards. Like they have a searcher, they have a e-telly, they have a negate, they have, I don't actually know what all they have, but I mean just having those is good quality stuff, and they pair up with like whatever you want to, so that's kind of cool. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is going to be the White Forest cards. So these read really well. Like White Forest is like on the edge of being a good deck right now, and they get a field spell that searches. That's kind of crazy for the deck, and then they get a whole bunch of like random cards like Diabels and like other weird Diabel cards, Filius Diabel, Curse of Diabel, whatever. I'm not like entirely sure what they do. All I know is that they do get a field spell searcher. So, have either of you played against this deck in testing? Because I feel like this is like one of those on the verge of actually like topping the YCS and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've tested against it a few times. I think the deck's good. I think it's just like a bad time for it to be like played right now. I think it has like an issue where like if Droll's being played, because like if Mitsurugi is like really popular, and then I think Droll's gonna be like somewhere in people's deck list, and this deck also just gets like hit by that. Like it'll have plays through it, but it's like a lot weaker, and I think like Malice and even Ryzeal will probably win if you get to resolve Droll. But I do think these cards are really good, and I think like given the right time, like this deck will definitely be like one of the best decks at some point.
Yeah, and I imagine it like kind of crumbles to Fualos as well. Like I don't really know what it would do into that. I guess they do have that trap card that synchro summons on your opponent's turn, the one that's been out since the beginning. That's one play, but like I don't know, like Fualos I feel like just crushes this deck, and so does Perulio actually. I think this deck summons a lot from hand too. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough into the Charmies.
Charmies are
It's
gonna.
not super great.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how like meta defining those Charmy cards are. Like, do you think they're too strong? Like, what do you guys think of those cards in general? I'll,
I despise them.
yeah,
I strongly dislike them. Like I think they're really bad for the game. But Flawless at least, and maybe even Perulia are bad. At least it's a guarantee Flawless is bad for the game, in my mind. But the other ones I'm not a huge fan of either. Like I feel like they're kind of unfair.
Alex, what do you think?
I don't know, dude. I kind of like them because like they force people to have like strategies that aren't just FTK combo, because like the power of hand traps are so low. Like when you're building a deck right now, you have like Impulse Fuwalos, which are like high impact, right? And then you have like Imperm Baylor, which are like significantly worse. So like I think the Fuwalos is needed. It's a necessary evil, and same with Berelia.
Yeah. Would you, if you had, okay, well, you said Fualis is needed. So if you had the option, would you, like, if you had the power to do it, would you get rid of Fualis and just keep Perulia and Meowth? Or would you keep all three?
Nah, I think you need all three for sure. I think the unfair part about them is when you get like double Fuwalos, or you get like Fuwalos and Berelia. Like when you get double Charming,
Yeah.
because then you have to skip your turn, more or less.
Got it.
But yeah, outside of that, dude, I think they're fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I think just Fualis is way overtuned compared to the other two. Like, it should only be from deck or from extra deck and not both. I think that's kind of crazy. But, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's like yeah, it's just another one of those necessary evil cards almost nowadays. But, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see the win rate. Like a Fuwalos as a card when you're going second. Like how much higher the win rate is when you draw that versus drawing like a normal hand trap. Because like maybe it's like 80%, where a normal hand trap's like 60%,
Yeah.
or maybe it's like 70% or like 65%. Because people do win through Fuwalos a good amount, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. But it's not like we could do anything about it. Just some food for thought. All right, let's talk about another kind of new archetype, but it's an old archetype getting support. It's going to be the Dragon Rulers. So we have the Light and Dark Baby Dragons, and then we also have, what do we have? Light and Dark Xyz monster, like big
They get
dragons.
like 3x dudes.
And then yeah, there's the one like boss Xyz monster or whatever it is. So have you guys looked into this at all? I know that it was like super hyped when it got announced because everyone remembers the Dragon Rulers, but I don't know. I think these cards are like kind of cope. Do you guys agree?
I watched them play for the first time. I think it's like not that bad. Like I don't think the deck's awful, but it's just like one of those. It's almost similar to White Force where it has like just like sort of an FTK combo. I feel like, at least like from what I watched. I don't think the deck's bad though, but I don't think it's like gonna do anything. At least for this event.
Gotcha. Alex, you agree? Anything to add to that? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to play like a combo deck, they're like better combo decks. But not that this one's like terrible, but definitely not the best.
yeah. Okay. We have a few more main deck cards to go over. And then there's some high impact extra deck cards we'll talk about. So we'll talk about the Live Twin card. So it has a main deck card and then the Link 1 in the extra. I guess we'll just talk about both of those at the same time. Link 1's a big deal, right? It kind of opens up this whole Live Twin Fiendsmith strategy. Where Link 1s are kind of OP. It's kind of like Musketeers where they get an extra card with their Link 1 and this one gets it too, except it's valuable going first. So what do you guys think about this deck? Is it viable? Like, are these cards a big deal, and do you expect to see them make an impact right away?
I think these cards are excellent. Like I think they're great. I think it also is similar to White Force where like I think this deck will have a better showing than like some of the other decks we talked about, but I just think it has an issue with Maliss and Ryzeal. Like I feel like Detonator's like not awful into that deck, and then Maliss like obviously like just murders the Fiendsmith stuff. But like for support that they got, like I think these are like some of the best cards they could have gone. The deck also struggles into Flawless, but like if they don't know like what the new cards do, you can at least use that to your advantage because the new Lila card can negate like Fuwalos in chain to the normal summon names. So like that could be something. Like if people don't know that, then like I think at least a few could talk this event. Like I don't think it would be a lot though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. It reminds me of that Fiendsmith Kashtira Bestial deck people played, whereas like the Fiendsmith engine and a bunch of non-engine. And because that deck can play a lot of non-engine, and it's cool because like their starter, because they have that light link one fiend. Like if you normal summon the one live twin that summons one from deck and they hand drop that, then you can just summon the new link one and do Fiendsmith combo that way. So like it plays like your one card combo can beat one hand trap, similar to Lacrima, which is I think is interesting because then it means like you don't always have to open 2 cards to play going first, so you can play more non-engine if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, and then Tim, I want to circle back to something you mentioned a second ago. You said that Maliss murders these Fiendsmith decks, and that's because White Binder is like banishing all your Fiendsmith stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why was Fiendsmith like Ryzeal so dominant against Maliss for like the last like 3 months? Like Maliss was clearly second choice to all the like Fiendsmith Ryzeal variants. So why now is Maliss dominating the Fiendsmith stuff?
Because they could just make Detonator like guaranteed like every game, and now it's like it's not like super likely that you're going to be able to make Detonator, and then also it's like one of those things where like Fiendsmith stuff was never like you were never breaking the Maliss board, like even if they made like half a board a lot of the times it felt like, because like the Fiendsmith stuff is just so poor into Maliss, like it always has been, I think. But just now, like even more so, like I think like if you go second into even like a half Maliss board and you draw like Engraver, it's just a waste of a card. And like you have to assume like if you made Maliss make a half board, you probably drew 2 hand traps, so you have a 4-card hand, and then it's now a 3-card hand just by like having Engraver, which is not ideal. I think I think that's like bad.
Got it. So basically, like last format, you were relying on the Ryzeal cards to beat Maliss.
Yeah.
And now you can't really do that as much or as consistently. So now you're relying on the Fiendsmith card to beat Maliss, and that's just not going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, at least like in my experience, like I never win when I have just like Fiendsmith stuff against that deck. Like you just don't win very often.
Cool. Okay, there's a few straggler cards, main deck cards in this set that we'll just kind of cover briefly. There's probably not a lot to talk about because I don't think they're that great, but maybe you guys have read them or have some kind of opinion. So I'll just bring up that Eldritch is actually getting support. It's getting this trap card, which summons a trap monster. Yay, another trap monster card, and then it's also getting a fusion monster. I'm just kind of reading this now for the first time, but have you guys looked at these cards at all? Like, have you do you remember Eldritch is actually a deck?
I read the fusion. I think it's not awful, but I don't think it's very good right now. Maybe like in a different format. Like, I just think everything is just like so poor right now. Like these slower decks.
Yeah.
Because like Maliss and Ryzeal just like walk over them, I feel like.
Yeah, that's fair. We have Heraldic Beasts cards. I saw some people getting hyped about that for some reason once upon a time. I don't think they actually do anything. I think maybe they're like rank 4 turbo, which is okay for Ryzeal, I guess, but yeah, I don't think these are relevant. Have you read them or care about them?
Sure.
I built some combos with them. The problem is, as soon as you go into the Heraldic Beast portion of your deck, they lock you into only summoning Heraldic Beast, like from the extra deck. I think it's either extra deck and main deck or just extra deck. But either way, as soon as you use that engine, all you can really do is summon like Heraldic Beast or like generic Exceeds. So it's more or less like because what the Ryzeal deck does is they summon the EXT and then they send their Heraldic Beast Exceed, and the Heraldic Beast Exceed sends 2 Heraldics from deck to grave, and then like one of them's Leo. Leo adds an extender to their hand. and basically they get like 3 free bodies through this heraldic beast stuff.
Okay.
But you can't. I don't know. Like maybe somebody will find something with it, but it's so hard because like the heraldic beast exceed that you need to make that's like 3 materials to rank up into like the new stuff negates the effects of all of their exceed monsters when it's summoned. So you can't like summon detonator and then summon that heraldic beast thing. So you have to do like some weird combos with it. Like I don't know. I was trying to do like Baguska locks with like plasma detonator, but it's just like, especially for how many bricks it takes. Like I don't think it's viable at all. And I know people will say like, oh, you can Ouroboros hand loop because it copies effects. But come on now, like you don't have to hand loop your opponent to win. Like any deck that resolves a turn 1 combo, regardless if the hand loops or not, is probably gonna win. So
yeah. Okay. Next we have this like dragon card, Dragolithia Kunzite. It reads basically like Blue Eyes support. You can special it by sending a level 7 or higher normal from hand or deck to grave. And then when this thing goes to grave, you can revive one. So it's kind of like a double extender almost. Any thoughts on this, or have you read it?
I've never seen this card in my life.
yeah, I've never heard of that card in my
Okay.
life.
I don't know. It's like it's two bodies for Blue Eyes, and it's a level 8, but probably don't need more bricks.
Yeah.
And then we have this card, which is called Gordian Schneider, or I think there's a new name for it in English, but it's Gordian something. Yeah. And then this is. Have you guys read this one?
Yeah.
It's probably it.
It's a cool concept. The problem is, like, it's similar to Ultimate Slayer, right? Like, you need to use it when you go second, and you want to target stuff like Detonator with it, right? But if you target Detonator and they have twins, they can just Detonator pop itself, twins bring it back. Because unlike Ultimate Slayer, your opponent can respond to it.
Yeah.
So I think in that regard, it's strictly worse. And it's limiting, too, because, like, you can only play an index. They can afford to banish 6 from their extra deck.
Yeah, that makes sense. And at that point, you might as well play Ultimate Slayer and actually send something useful.
Oh, 100%.
It could be cool, like, in a different format, though. Like, I could definitely see this card getting played.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, anything that says, can't be negated or whatever kind of, like, raises some bells that you actually have to be aware of it, at least, right? But... yeah, probably not right now. The other difference between this and Slayer is that it can target non-monsters. I don't know when you would ever want to do that, but yeah.
It would be cool if people were doing Arena 3, like Snake Eye format.
Yeah,
but
true.
It's a thing of the past.
All right. And then one more main deck card is the new Dominus Trap card, Secret Rare. I'm sure it's going to be one of those like $2 Secret Rares out of this set. Artwork looks really cool.
Oh, dude, I actually think that card's good.
You do?
I mean, I don't think any decks can play it right now, but like the restriction on this isn't even like egregious. Because like some decks like Ryzeal, I mean, obviously Ryzeal's not going to play it, but like they don't need to have graveyard effects if you're playing Ryzeal. And there are a lot of decks like that that can play like without the graveyard. I think the restrictions like you can't have a monster in your grave when you activate it or something like that. That is like really restricting, but I think it's a cool card. I bet you can play it in like Sky Striker maybe.
Well, it says
it's getting played in lab too.
What's that, Tim?
It's getting played in lab right now too. I think it like actually makes the lab deck like not bad. I think lab still will have a tough time into a lot of decks, but I do think it makes that deck a lot better.
Yeah, that's fair. We could see it there. Yeah, I'm reading the restriction now. If you activated this from your hand, you cannot activate monster effects in the hand, grave, or banishment till the end of the next turn. So it just shuts it off for, I don't know, one of your turns guaranteed. So you obviously can't play hand traps with this, or like monster hand traps. But yeah, I guess lab could do it. You just couldn't activate any furnitures then for 2 turns.
You can chain them to the trap card. Like when you activate that thing, you can just chain either the Arius or the whatever the
small furnitures.
Heavy Dorby.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I like these trap cards. I like the dominance cards in general. I think they're a good design. I like that they lock you, but they're still good. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if anything gets played here. All right, let's move on to some of the extra deck cards. We already covered most of them because they all come with other archetypes we covered, but I want to talk about probably two in particular. First one's this Secret Monster, Yugioh, the Cursed Thunder Deity, level 11. It's life point gain, and then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can pay 1,500 and tribute this, and then you can destroy all monsters, destroy all spell traps. So it's like a Raigeki to set up. Do you think this card will ever see play? It's kind of like an alternate to like Psychic End Punisher or something.
What's his requirements? Is it generic?
Yep.
Yeah, generic level 11.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah.
I think it's like not bad. Probably not right now, but it could definitely see play.
Yeah, I don't even know what decks will play this. But, like, it's nice because it's a level 11 that has, like, a disruption ability. Whereas, like, Psychic End Punisher is just, like, a tower.
Yeah.
This can actually, like, interrupt your opponent. So I guess that's cool.
Yeah, maybe like I think there's new punk cards coming out sometime soon, so maybe that'll play it or something. I don't know. And then the final card I want to talk about is the biggest hitter of the whole set, probably, which is going to be Code Talker at Ignister. Can you guys talk about how like game changing this card is? Is it like is it win more? Like, you know, it's a link 5 and you put it at the end of your combo, but if you're comboing up to a link 5, could you have just made something else? Like, is it that important or is it kind of OP?
I think this card's great. I don't know if it's like, I don't think it's broken. Like, obviously, like the revive effects is crazy, but like I think it's like, at least right now, it's like it's just a strong card. Like, it's not like obnoxious.
Yeah,
It's like pretty hard to make. Like, I feel like it's like not super easy to make, so it's like annoying.
But, like, yeah, I think people kind of overhype this. Like, it's for sure a really good card, and you're gonna see it on like every Maliss on board basically. But the problem is you can't summon it till the end of your combo. So even though it's like an Omni Negate, it's not like you're using it to like play around to be your hand drops. You're like, oh, if I get my full combo, then I get 1 negate, which is like, you know, Savage or Baron basically.
I like the design though. Like, I like the fact that like you can have the Omni Negate, but like you're not doing it before like you play into like hand traps, which I think is like something they should keep doing if they make Omni Negates.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did pretty good with this one.
Yeah, so it's not just a direct replacement for Appaloosa by any means, you know. So because Appo is obviously busted design when it comes to playing through hand traps, but yeah, like you guys said, it's nice that this one doesn't have the same effect. Okay, so that covers like all the relevant cards out of ALIN. There's like a couple random ones. Oh, let's see. Snake Eye's Execute Dragon. Alex, you're a Snake Eye player. Have you read this card or know anything about it? The
We're
legendary Snake Eye player on TB Grinder's channel. Very nice comment.
Oh God, no! I didn't even want to play that format, bro. But Tim was like, "Oh, make a deck, bro." But yeah, no, the Snake Eye deck's actually pretty cool. There's a lot you can do with the combos, and especially with the Execute Dragon and the Doom Dragon, like these type of things. You can almost summon any card you want in those combos, but the consistency is just not there.
Yeah.
Like you need more bonfires or OSS.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Anything else you want to talk about from this set that we missed? I don't know if I missed any cards, but otherwise we can get into the tier list or anything you want to talk about before we get to the tier list.
I got nothing.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing either.
Hell yeah. All right, let's switch up the overlay here then. There we go. Okay, so we have a tier list for post-ALIN Insight. Specifically, we have Providence on ALIN Insight release weekend. So I have 4 tiers here. The first top tier is going to be many YCS tops. So I don't know if it's going to be top 32, top 64, but I would say it's something like, I don't know. If it was top 64, I would say at least like eight tops would be in this tier. Maybe 5, maybe even 5, just to spread this out. Because the next tier I have is 1 to 2 YCS tops, like you could see that happening. And then tier 3 we have regionals tops only, and then tier 4 we have side events, kind of like forget about it. So yeah, let's just jump in. We're gonna do the order that this tier list has. I just kind of pulled one randomly that has all of our decks to talk about. And let's start with the hottest deck of this current format, the pre-Alliance Insight post-banlist format, which is Memento. Where do you guys think this deck ranks, compared to the new Maliss, the new Mitsurugi, the new Ryzeal stuff?
Probably 1 to 2 tops. I think. I think the deck's still like decent, but I don't think it'll be as dominant as it was before.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised at that. Like, maybe it's because, and we'll get to it, you think Maliss is just gonna be so dominant, but like, Memento is kind of crushing it right now, and it's arguably the best deck of this format. So you think it'll drop from winning YCSs down to maybe one top? Like, why do you think the drop off is so much?
Yeah, I think this deck just benefits from like every other deck being bad right now. Like I think every deck is just like that much worse than it, so it's like it just has such a easy time right now. Like it just
100%.
like Ryzeal and Maliss by far, just because of how bad they are right now.
The power level's so low in the format right now that like you can win with a lot. And like you look at some of these Memento decks, they play like 6 Charmies, 3 Droplet, 3 Eclipse, like 12 to 15 on-engine. Like you literally can just not do that next format. Like you cannot play into Maliss and expect to win with like Droplet Eclipse or like these breaker cards. Like you need to hand trap them to stop. And I think because Memento's engine's so large, I think that's gonna like be a detriment.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then another argument as well is it's just not popular. Like, even though it's good, like nobody plays it really. So when we're rating these based on number of tops, like there's nobody going to be playing this deck at all anyway. Even if it is good or maybe better than you think, like still the representation is just so bad.
Yeah, it's like such a hard deck to play like actually well, and like I feel like it's one of those decks where like you get really punished by like misplaying with it, and it's hard not to misplay with that deck.
Yeah. Okay, next up on this tier list is going to be Ryzeal Mitsurugi. Where do you think this deck is with the new Mitsurugi support?
I think it'll have at least like 3 or 4 tops. Like I think no matter what, like I don't think this deck is like as in great of a position as like people make it out to be, but I do think this deck is really strong, and it'll definitely have a good amount of representation too.
So we can put it in. I think we'll put it in the top tier here. I think it's going to be better than 1 to 2, like a sprinkle of them. I think we're going to see a decent chunk at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then while we're on it, let's cover some of the related decks. So we have also in this tier list is for some reason pure Mitsurugi. Does this have any relevance? Is it possible to play this deck without Ryzeal to any success?
No, bro.
No, dude, it's like objectively worse than like the Ryzeal Mitsu deck.
Okay. Do you think
it is? It might be lower than the side events. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. All right, we'll put it in the side events for now and rank it accordingly. In a bit. Let's see. Is there any other Mitsurugi related? Not really. Okay. Let's move on to. Well, I guess we'll just jump right over to the Maliss decks because those are up next. So I'll just preempt this with. They have separate variants listed here. It says Maliss Fiendsmith, Maliss Ignister, and Maliss Bestial. Just for my own reference, like, are those mutually exclusive? Like, are people only picking one of those, or are you mixing those engines like more than 2 nowadays at these builds?
It's like exclusively the Mr. build, but when I first thought about playing the deck, I wanted to play Fiendsmith stuff, but I just don't think it's good. Like I think it's like unnecessary.
Okay.
And it doesn't fix any of the deck's problems.
Okay, so Alex, how would you rank Maliss Fiendsmith specifically?
I think the problem is the Maliss engine itself, because you have to play 3 backup, 3 March Air, like all the good cards, is 20 cards. And then you need to play 15 to 18, like ideally 18 non-engine. And then you have the Fiendsmith engine, which is like minimum 7 cards, right? Like 3 Engraver, Track Flurry Requiem, or Track Flurry Lacrimote,
Yeah.
and Paradise the Trap. And like that's a lot of deck space for an engine that is completely unnecessary because you're gonna Cyber Lock yourself with Splash Mage. And it also plays poorly into like the Malice Mirror Match boards. I think it's like ideally, if I'm comboing turn 1, it'd be cool if I could do things with stuff, but I think it's like completely unnecessary. So I don't think it's very good.
Okay.
I don't know how many people play it though.
So would you guess 1 to 2 YCS tops, or just like none, and you might see it at regionals?
I think regionals probably.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
maybe side events.
Maybe side events. We'll see. I mean, it's got to be better than a lot of the side events decks. So, just because it has Malice cards in it. I mean, and Fiendsmith is still like a good engine. So, I mean,
yeah. Well,
you think it should be higher?
No. It should.
I don't think
it should be side events, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I think regional.
It is nice. Engraver playing into detonators is nice.
Yeah.
And Malice needs detonator out, so.
Yeah, I guess it just depends how popular Ryzeal is, I guess. All right, Malice Ignister. Is this one top of the food chain here?
For sure.
It's basically pure Malice, yeah. I think that's like the only thing people are gonna play. Okay. Like Malice Visual, I don't even think is a deck.
Yeah, I think that's actual side events.
Actual side events? All right, I'll put it at the top of side events.
Yeah. Maybe
like someone who couldn't find the cards in time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dragon Duel event right there.
Good. All right, so tell me what are your predictions for how dominant Malice Ignister is? Like, if there's a top 64, how many of the 64 will be Malice Ignister?
I think 50 to 60 at least, and I think it could be higher. I think this deck is just like so far ahead of like everything else. Not even like power level wise. It's like it's just the way the deck is like built. I think it like it just like puts itself so far ahead, and it's like really good into almost every deck. Like it doesn't really have a bad matchup.
So you think 50?
Aside from like,
you think 50 of the top 64 will be Malice Ignister, like tier 0, like level?
Yeah, I think it's like at this point, like I feel like it's probably the case because it's just like there's not really any other deck that can compete with it, and there's nothing that has like a great matchup either.
Yeah, I think the only reason why it wouldn't be like 50% of the top cut is because people are going to play a lot of different decks this event because they don't have any results, and ALIN changes the format a ton. So like people are going to show up with like their like pure Ryzeal decks, or they're going to show up with like their, I don't know, Mermail decks, and then you're just going to have less players playing Malice. But then like I think after the results, everyone sees like how much percentage Malice takes up of the top cut, then it'll gain a lot more traction, and the cards are going to be difficult to get. That's like a factor for a lot of people.
True. Like having an event on release weekend is tough. I know we dealt with that last year with Nats with Fiendsmith cards, and here we go again.
Dude, ridiculous.
Here we go again. Almost even made it to Nats last year. That was fun. But okay, cool. So we have obviously top of the ladder Malice Ignister, and then we might have a small chunk over Ryzeal Mitsurugi. And so let's go through this tier list some more, see if any third deck makes it up into many YCS tops. Next, we're going to talk about White Forest. I don't know how much you guys know about White Forest to differentiate it from White Forest Fiendsmith, but I'm guessing they're basically at the same level. My guess is these are both regionals tops only right now. Would you guys agree with that, or do you think 1 to 2 YCS tops is possible?
I think at least a White Forest deck will top. I'm not sure what variant it would be, but I think at least one will top.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to top the YCS. It reminds me of Branded, where it's like the White Forest one tricks will play the deck,
Yeah.
And they'll win the die roll or like open Flawless in a second and, just ruin people's days. But yeah, it is a good combo deck.
Okay. Just because I don't know if it's going to be Fiendsmith or Pure, I'm just going to put Pure up here, and I'm not even going to rank Fiendsmith because I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't play Fiendsmith in that deck. Unless I'm missing something. I don't know.
I don't know. There's just like I feel like a ton of engine, and you can also play like the Azamina cards, which is another ton of engine. So I guess it depends on how many cards you're playing and how much non-engine you need and that kind of stuff. So I can see like kind of like the same problem Maliss Fiendsmith has is like there's just so much engine requirement. Like what are you gonna do? I don't know.
Oh, for sure, dude. I just won the die roll.
Yeah.
Won the die roll, open 2 olives.
Easy. Okay. Oh, I guess there's a Maliss Catch Tira on here. Is that even played? Is that possible? Or is
No,
it like side events again?
I do think Henry is not like the cashier cards aren't even bad, but no one's gonna play Maliss cashier. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it down in side events. Like if Maliss Bit Steals in side events, Maliss Catch Tira is also there, I think. All right, Regenesis. Right now it looks like the only one on this list is Regenesis Kashtira, but we'll just assume this is any Regenesis deck that somebody cooks up. Do you think it can get a YCS top, or do you think regionals, or not at all?
I think it'll be regionals. I don't think this deck will top this event, but I think because I just don't think there's enough time to like perfect a deck like with those cards in it.
Yeah.
And I just don't really see the benefit right now.
Okay. I buy that. I think that's where it is too. I don't think the deck has enough. Like for the amount of engine space it needs, I don't think it does enough with that engine to do anything. It's basically like more Kashtira cards, you know. It's like okay, you get one interruption maybe, but it's whatever.
I mean, the Omni Negate's pretty good.
Yeah, that card's insane.
True.
But the format, I think, is too fast for it. Like, you can't really play this mid-range grind that Regenesis wants to do.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we have Tenpai up next. How are we looking at Tenpai?
It'll always top, bro. I feel like I don't think
somebody
matters.
always finds
it. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You think it'll top? You think it'll
like,
top Providence? You think it'll get one?
I actually think. Yeah, I think it could at least get one. I don't think.
Dude, how do you break boards though with your Tenpai deck? Like, think about playing into like a Mitsu deck where they have Detonator Cross. Right, they have like 5 cards in hand. They have
slam your head on the table.
Trap.
What you do is you strap up, you slam your head on the table. You hope you drew like 4 board breakers plus Chandra. That's game. It's ball game every time, bro.
I guess so.
We just need somebody to do that for 17 rounds in a row, and it'll be fun.
They could summon 3 detonators. It doesn't matter. Chandra is game. It doesn't matter.
Hell yeah. All right. I like the spirit. We have Tenpai getting one top, maybe. Otherwise, I would probably put it down in like side events. I'm actually kind of surprised that Tenpai is not doing anything like in this format, pre-ALIN format. Like, I thought people would flock back to that after their Ryzeal deck got hit and Maliss deck got hit for a minute, but whatever.
They're hiding right now. They don't want to leak the goo.
True. Okay. I'm skipping ahead to, we have Memento Fiendsmith. It's the same as Memento. I'm just going to put it at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
Okay, Blue Eyes. How are we feeling about Blue Eyes? This is like one of the only decks that didn't get hit on the ban list. Primite cards are still good for grind game. Is that enough to keep up with like Maliss and Mitsurugi at all, or like how are we feeling about that?
I think unfortunately, like this deck's just bad right now. Like I think it's bad in both decks. Like I think this deck's really good for the game too, which is unfortunate. I just don't think it's viable right now. Like it's so much weaker than the Mitsu and the Maliss deck.
Yeah. I still think because it's so popular that 1 to 2 YCS tops is a good spot for it. I think there's somebody else thinking with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay, we have the Ryan Pepper Special, Crystron Kashtira, or I guess whatever Crystron variant you want to play. How are we feeling about that? It's like okay, but I don't know. It's kind of decent. But it's kind of like a combo deck that's just not as good as the other combo decks. Like another one of those. Do you think this one can get a top?
Nah, I don't think this deck's gonna do well. I think it lost all of its benefit now that Maliss is like good again. Like it's like actually.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's not winning events right now too says a lot.
True. No, but it got 2 tops at the South Park, PA regional. So
Yeah, top 16 at Mexico City too.
there we go.
Very prestigious events too.
Do you think that it can top regionals next format?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Dude, I think almost any deck can top regionals, to be honest.
Except for pure Mitsurugi, apparently. But
Yeah, dude. Except for Pierre Mitsurugi. You need to reevaluate your choices.
Yeah.
Keep a
just buy the
pre-preparation right.
Ryzeal cards. They're not that expensive anymore. Okay. Next up, we have the Dinkabui Special, Fire King. Apparently, he just wins events for some reason, but only by Dinkabui. So,
Yeah, I think unless you're that man, don't play that deck.
Okay. Regionals. Regionals are okay. I think they kind of go here.
Does Dinkabui go to regionals?
I know he only goes to YCS. Isn't
Not in America, bro.
Friend.
All right, drop it down then.
Drop it down.
Well, shit, dude. All right, fine. I'm gonna put it near the top.
I guess there's 2 people: Brandon Freeman and Dinkabui.
Oh.
Other than that, put it down below.
The
dude.
2 best duelists.
My God.
All right. All right. Labyrinth is up next. We have Lab Fiendsmith. I'm just gonna ignore that exists. Let's talk about Lab. It had that.
I don't.
The sneaky top last format at wherever it was, Houston or something.
I'm so back and forth on this deck. I don't, because I've been talking to people about it. I don't think it's bad, and I think it could top a YCS. I think it's like really pilot dependent though.
Yeah.
And like I think you also have to get a little lucky. Like I don't think this deck has like a consistent game plan in the Maliss is the problem. Like I think there are just gonna be like a lot of games you just lose to that deck for no reason.
Yeah, 100%. Like Lab will always be playable just by the nature of the card. Like the interactions with the deck are strong, especially resolving trap cards turn 0. But the fact that there's Lingering Vote, Impulse, Ash, like in the format so much, I don't know. It just seems so hard to play. Like, why would you ever want to play Labyrinth instead of most other deck?
It's definitely an uphill battle. I think this deck could top, but like, I don't know, to be honest. Like, I think their trap cards are still really good. Like, they're even like good in the Maliss. But I think you gotta win a lot of die rolls to like do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, or dodge the Maliss matchup.
Yeah, and last event it was good because he couldn't play D barrier, but there's no Maliss D barrier, so and now Maliss is gonna be way more popular. So I think that's a factor.
Thank them. But yeah.
I'm gonna put it in regionals, I think.
Okay. I think that's fair.
All right, Alex, this one's for you. We have Branded Despia up next.
Oh, dude. It's sad that the most efficient way to sanctify a lot of people is wise now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the deck can play enough non-engine. And, like, the selling point of the deck is it's like an FTK combo, right? Like, you literally don't lose the game if you resolve your combo. But that's, like, most decks right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't see the appeal.
Okay, so regional tops or side events? I'm thinking side events. Like if
I mean, I think most decks can top a regional. Like, I think you could probably show up to a regional with Branded and do fine, but in reality, side events.
Okay.
Just throw that bad boy in there.
We're gonna throw
that deck sucks.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, we have Tier Limit. So this one was hyped for a little bit by the DB Grinder and others, just cause Dweller's gone, Shifter's basically gone.
Side events.
It's side events.
If this Mitsu deck is in side events, holy hell.
Dude, it can't play non-engine. It's the same thing with these like branded decks, you know? Like you go second, you lose.
Bro, you don't need to play non-engine if you can
first.
turbo through for like 20 cards, dude.
Easy clap.
But dude, that's why I think the Millers killed the deck though, because you can no longer like try to hit the Millers going second and play the game like that.
That I feel like Tier Limit when it like had the Millers as one of it almost felt like Tenpai and like where they could just slam their head on the table and just figure out a way to mill 10. It drove me nuts, dude.
I wonder regional I played it against. I would go like Impulse, Fire Attacker, draw 2, discard Keldo, mill 5. Like,
oh my god.
Oh yeah, add Tear Cash, summon, mill 3.
It was
ridiculous.
It was so dumb. I hated those cards.
It was so much fun.
because like they always milled them when they were at 1. Like it didn't matter. It just didn't matter.
All right. So side events it is. Alex, really quick, your mic is like rubbing on your shirt or something. And it's kind of scratchy.
Oh, this is the map. Okay.
Fix it. Fucking dumbass.
Dude, okay, bro.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Bro.
Okay. Moving on, we have a couple of Fiend decks. So we have Yugioh, and then we have also Unchained Fiendsmith. I'll start by putting Unchained Fiendsmith into side events. Does Yugioh have any chance at doing stuff?
Probably not. Not right now. I think it's like not bad pre-ALIN, but I think right now it's bad, to be honest.
Okay. I think it's good enough to be regionals tops. I think it's probably near the top of that actually, but I don't think it's gonna compete with Maliss. And like going second into Maliss is gonna be a nightmare because they just banish your graveyard and then you're kind of cooked.
Yeah, you lose guaranteed if they resolve like even like half their combo. I feel like.
Yeah, and it's
maybe not guaranteed.
Another deck that can't. Well, it can play a decent amount in non-engine. It can play 17 hand traps in 45, which I mean everyone else is playing 18 and 40, so it's still not good ratios. And just like
I think his biggest flaw.
Yeah.
Or sorry.
No, you're good. Go.
I think his biggest flaw is the like everybody's maining like 6 Charmies, and literally all of them hurt.
Yeah, all 3.
Like.
It's just the inferior combo deck. Like, I don't know why you would show up with this over a different FTK combo.
I don't know. I think it has like the best board if you go uninterrupted, and arguably better. I don't honestly know what the White Forest end board is, but I feel like it's kind of the same deck. Like they make the same board. I don't know how they compare in terms of playing into hand traps like the popular ones. But
yeah, I bet they are pretty similar decks. Like both lose to the Charmies, both lose to like Droll.
Yeah.
Large engine. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't think it's that good.
We'll put it in the regionals tops, but I don't know how you know what? I'm moving Tenpai down here, dude. Tenpai sucks ass. What are we doing?
No,
dude,
no.
That deck's actually gonna top, bro.
No.
I can't wait to watch it.
All right, I'm putting it at the bottom.
All right, we're placing a bet right now. $10. Tenpai tops this YCS.
$10 on
proceeds to sign up with the Tenpai deck.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It'll top the side event for sure. Okay.
Easy clap.
Yeah. Voiceless Voice. This deck is garbage. I'm gonna put it in side events.
Yeah. Putrid.
Centurion.
Good riddance.
Centurion's one of those like weird decks. First of all, nobody's playing it. Second of all,
side event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second of all, side event.
Like, yeah.
It lost all its consistency too with Bonfire, or not all of it, but obviously it lost 2 starters.
That's like the critical part. Yeah. Like it just got caught in the crossfires for literally no reason. Yeah. It did nothing.
And then
yeah. It's like one of those like mid-range decks, kind of the like to play longer games. Yeah.
Okay. Next we have the trap deck, Odeon. How are we feeling about that? This one was like a flash in the pan. It won a regional and then kind of disappeared. Is this deck garbage? How are we feeling about it?
I think it's not a bad deck. I think it's just bad right now. But I think it'll be good again.
Another Fiendsmith.
Yeah, it's
not good right now.
Abilities. Yeah.
Okay.
But I agree. I agree.
So regionals.
Yeah, I think it could still do well. Like I could see this deck topping, like somebody getting lucky, but I couldn't imagine signing up with this deck right now.
Yeah, definitely regionals.
Okay. Why is True Draco in here, dude? Okay. Math Mech. Okay, so as a pure deck, it's probably trash, but like, do you think the Math Mech engine in something else will it make an appearance? Does the engine have any value?
No,
probably in the side events it will.
There's gonna be like one psychopath who plays the Math Mech engine, their Ryzeal or their Maliss deck, They play like the one circular and the 4 bricks that goes with it. It might be 3 bricks, my bad.
Yeah,
But
it's only 3.
and if they win every die roll and they don't draw the bricks, like yeah, they're gonna be chilling.
Yeah.
But it is objectively bad deck building to like play that.
Okay.
And I don't think a pure math deck is gonna do anything. Like, dude, Laplacian pass is not it, bro.
No. Come on, dude.
No, dude.
It's so broken then.
Dude, Heat Soul Set Super Factorial. How do I lose?
All right, dude. Okay, on to the Mike Win special. We have the Chimera deck. Any
Dude,
relevant?
it might be better than Maliss.
Oh, the Chris special.
The Chris
Dude,
special.
just throw it up there with
All
Mitsu and Maliss.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
I'll
the
put
best
it.
deck.
I'll put it at the top of the list where it belongs, dude. Okay.
Exactly.
They got a new combo, right? Like they can. Does that deck get better?
Post-ALIN. I don't know what they get.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know either. I'm just
I don't.
inquiring. The Chimera expert.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played this deck in a minute. Like they got Duke of Demise, which is really good out of Maze of whatever. The Master.
That's what I was thinking of.
And then they also got Azamina LZ in the last set. Like if you want to play that card, it's kind of it's like a fusion. It's like a Cartesia almost, but it's not good. We're gonna put it down in regionals. Okay. Melodious is not real, but I'm not even gonna rank it. Mimighoul. All right. I got a buddy that plays Mimighoul, and therefore I'm not gonna disrespect him by not even ranking it. So I'll put it in side events. Okay.
Wow, good man.
Yeah, I try. Cash Fiends.
We need to have the Brandon Freeman here.
Dude.
Side event.
Side event. All right.
Yeah.
I was hyped for this deck. I thought it would be better this pre-ALIN format than it I think turned out to be. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad deck, but
Wait, Tim, what did
Once
you end
again,
up playing
it's-
at the regional? What did you end up playing?
Fiendsmith Ryzeal.
Fiendsmith Ryzeal, okay. Because you were considering this deck too for a minute, and you were going back and forth on a few variants, but
Yeah, I just wanted to play the Ryzeal cards because I thought they were better than like Cashier cards. I still think I was right on that.
yes, I agree. I'll just summarize my regionals experience. The Cashier cards were absolute garbage, dude. I drew Unicorn going second, like game 1, like every round, and I would just get Fualos with Unicorn and Fiendsmith combo, and I'd be like, okay, Unicorn, Requiem, pass. And then that literally happened 3 matches in a row. And I was like, what am I doing here? I'm going to go home now. This is awful. And I'm like, Fualos just...
Dude, you could have played the Edison side events.
I should have, but I
What do
just
you mean?
left instead. Okay.
Coward. You could have won a cool little game, Matt.
Yeah, I could have done that. Blue Eyes Invoked is not getting ranked. Primite Fiendsmith. Probably along with all the other
side events.
Fiendsmith decks in side events, right? I'm just gonna clump all of them together.
Yeah,
I guess it could
Yeah,
be.
I
I think regional tops. I think regional top. Like if Odeon.
I think the thing is,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that my thing is this deck wasn't good when all the other decks were bad. So it's like, I don't know why it would be good now type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It has a lot of benefit. Like,
Dude, imagine owning the Primite engine and signing up with a Fiendsmith deck instead of Blue Eyes.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's gotta be punting.
Yeah. I don't know. Not ideal, but I don't know. I want to own those Primite cards. I think they're like it's a really cool engine that you can splash in whatever. I'm just not paying for it, dude. It's so expensive.
You know who will though? Mike Win.
Yeah,
Our
he doesn't
goat.
play he doesn't play the
Dude,
game.
just because this is Blue Eyes. People buy Blue Eyes support no matter what it is, bro.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
that deck's always popular and expensive.
That is true. Okay, Mr. Alex, Snake Eyes Fiendsmith. How many YCS tops is it getting?
Dude, I don't know, bro. Tim, what do you think? I mean, I think I don't know, dude. Definitely not more than 1. I think the only debate is if one guy signs up with that and wins every die roll.
Right, the answer was definitely not more than 0. Holy, there's no shot.
Okay, shit, dude. Yeah,
That's criminal. Just leave it on the thing, bro.
It's not getting ranked either. Not good. Okay. Okay. We'll put it down there. Okay. Water. Mermail Atlantean. What do you guys think of this post Bahamut Shark ban?
I do think this deck could get a top. It's just like Tenpai. Somebody will find a way.
Yeah, 100%.
Even though.
Yeah, it's got water statue. That card scares me. So there's that.
Dude, could you imagine getting barrier statued round 1? I'd be so pissed.
Oh my god, dude! Or like you sit down, you lose a direwall, and they're like minstrel discard their games.
I know, bro. I'm going.
I might just pick up my cards. See, I probably won't even show them what I'm playing. Actually, yeah. I think that's definitely the right move.
Bro, you just sign the slip then and there, and you go home.
Nice.
Try again next YCS.
Hell yeah. All right, nice. Yeah, I don't know. That deck is scary. Even if you get like Fualist, you could just let them draw like 20 cards and just end on barrier statue, and they'll still scoop. It's kind of entertaining. Okay. All right.
It's so criminal.
We're finally getting to some potentially good decks. We have Live Twin Fiendsmith up next. Where do you think this one is?
1 to 2 tops, I think.
1 to 2.
Is there a section between 1 to 2 tops and like 5 tops?
No.
I think it's definitely going to be at the top of that 1 to 2 tops. And
okay, I'm gonna make
like that deck's genuinely like.
I'm gonna make the top tier 3+ tops, and we can go through that. So you think Live Twin Fiendsmith is gonna be in the 3+ tops range?
Yeah, like if you don't want to play Ryzeal or Maliss cards, I think like this is one of your best options.
Okay. Why is this Fiendsmith variant the best one? Because all of the other Fiendsmith variants we've been putting in regional tops or side events. So why is this one playable? Like, or are you just coping?
It has like the best. It has the best engine. Like it has like the highest benefit to playing it. Like it can naturally play it, and it's not like the Maliss Fiendsmith deck where you're just jamming Fiendsmith cards into your deck. Like it plays well into hand traps aside from Fualos. And I think it's overall just a really solid deck. Like it's consistent. And it can play a lot of hand traps too. So I think it's just like the best Fiendsmith variant you could play.
Okay.
For an event.
Okay, and then the next one we have is Ryzeal Fiendsmith. Is this deck dead, or is it still?
Yeah, dude. Side event.
Side event. Ryzeal.
I think it could top a regional.
Top a regional. Go next.
All right, I'll put it with all of the other Fiendsmith variants that are in regional stops.
Dude, if you play 2 Lacrima, Engraver is full Ryzeal combo. That's what they don't want you to know.
The secret goo, dude. You should keep that to yourself for the YCS.
Actually, terrible.
Okay, the next one is not a real deck that exists. It's Ryzeal Primite Pile. I'm gonna move that down here, and then we have Ryzeal Pure. Okay, do you think this one's?
Oh, dude, I was wondering when we were gonna do this one.
It's the last deck in the list.
Okay, dude, I think this deck's way better than people are giving it credit for. Like nobody's playing this deck right now. It plays really well into the Charmies. It completely beats Impulse. Like really strong into Impulse. It loses to Droll's the problem, and the other problem is when you go 7th Tachyon for Ice. If they hand trap that Ice, like you lose the game because you just went -1 into Imperm Pass. But outside of that, like I think this deck's like a really solid anti-meta choice, kind of.
How do you think it compares?
And the combo too. Like if you resolve your combo, your 1 card EXT combo, that's just game. You don't need to set up full Malice combo. You can just do your EXT combo thing and just win the game. And Detonator's really, really, really good right now.
How do you rank it compared to the Mitsurugi variant?
Oh, for sure worse than Mitsurugi. Allegedly. Me personally, I would sign up with Pure Ryzeal before Mitsurugi, but I know that's a hot take. So for sure worse than that, but it's definitely better than the Live Twin deck. Like I think it's like up there.
Okay, so
I don't know.
I'll put it there then.
What are your thoughts?
Tim, do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's true. I think it might honestly be a better call to play the Pure Ryzeal deck rather than the Mitsurugi deck. But I don't think it makes a difference. Like you still lose to most of the same shit, and like you're probably gonna have a tough time no matter what. Like, you got to be pretty good with the deck.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right, so that's all the decks we're gonna rank. So let's do a quick recap of our tiers. We have in the top tier 3+ tops, which is like realistically there should be another tier above this just for Maliss, but in the top tier we have Maliss Ignister, we have Mitsurugi Ryzeal, we have Pure Ryzeal, and Live Twin Fiendsmith. And then the other decks that we think could top the YCS 1 to 2 is Memento, White Forest, Blue Eyes, Mermail, and Tenpai. Do we miss any, or you think this is a clean tier list?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I think that actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Tim, you think so?
I think it's beautiful, dude.
Perfect.
I
Okay.
think the only thing we should add is literally just another tier that either says Brandon Freeman or Maliss, whichever one you want to do.
Are they going to be at the top or the bottom of the tier list? The top, right?
You decide. You decide.
Dude, I think it has to go at the top.
No.
I mean, he's my goat, so.
Yeah.
All right. For you viewers, Brandon Freeman is a locals legend at the Green Tree Pittsburgh Locals. And that's why we're going to put all the worst decks in the Brandon Freeman tier. All the ones
No,
that
dude,
were
put the
not
best
ranked.
ones in there. Just rename the top one Brandon Freeman and just put Malice.
Oh, true. All right.
Dude, he won both the South Park regionals.
So that's everything I had planned for this. We went over the ALIN cards. We made the tier list. Anything else you guys want to talk about, or any ideas, or anything like that you want to cover while we're here?
Yeah, dude. What's your signature dish?
My signature dish.
Yeah, like what's a meal you think you can make better than most Americans?
Omelets. I make some killer omelets, dude.
What is that? All right, dude. Lame answer.
What?
Omelet. Are we serious, bro?
Wait, let's hear him out though. What goes in the omelet?
Okay, usually get some kind of like ground sausage or like chorizo, and then chopped green onions, and then like taco cheese, and then just fold that in. Some Cholula on top is what I like, but that's optional. But yeah, that's how I go. That's how I go about it.
Okay, dude. The chorizo definitely salvaged that. I was skeptical at first, but I'm a chorizo enjoyer.
Nice. Good deal. Tim, what about you? Dino nuggets? Tater tots?
Bro, I know how to use a microwave.
You know how to request some damn good pizza rolls, dude.
Exactly. I know how to make pizza rolls. I can make some ramen noodles sometimes, depending on like the packaging. I know how to make a TV dinner. Those are pretty good.
All right, dude. You're already better than the TV grinder.
Facts, dude. He's not on my level. Oh, and kids cuisine, bro. That's like actually hard. Those things are actually like a bitch to make, bro. I'm telling you. If you
Kids
ever,
cuisine?
for some reason, purchase, bro, don't even hate. Like you gotta go through some extra steps to put it in the microwave.
Okay.
It's like a 5-step
You
program.
gotta like puncture the plastic or something.
Bro, it's more than that. You gotta like remove the items from the plastic
That's crazy.
and then like microwave them separately. Yeah, see, like it's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's not.
Sounds good, dude.
A little fun fact.
Wonderful. All right. Anything else from you lads?
Yeah, dude. When can we expect a lifting routine drop?
When
I got a gym membership today, bro.
You did.
And I need to know what to do when I show up.
Okay. Well,
Bro, I swear to God, dude, I did.
once I hit
I swear, bro, I actually did.
once I hit 10,000 YouTube subs, I will drop a lifting routine video and post it. So
When are you starting
Alright.
the OnlyFans? That's the real question.
It's
that
official.
everybody's wondering.
that's at 100,000 subs.
Oh, bro. Drop a sub then, boys.
Yeah.
It's time.
If you want.
We're all waiting for this.
Dude, 100,000, I feel like is pretty achievable, man. You should have said it at like 250.
There's like 3 YouTubers at 100K, so it's not.
I
gonna be
mean,
me.
Yeah, I can make a
I don't
few
know,
accounts, bro. Like, I can get you boosted. Like, I'm willing to make this happen.
Hell yeah.
we can probably just go viral actually and get people outside of the community to sub.
Ooh, true.
Exactly. Dude.
All right, I will make an OnlyFans at 100K. Deal.
Yeah.
You heard it here first in episode 5.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for skipping the NFL draft to make this video. Everyone else, thanks for watching. And just so you guys know, this podcast is also on Spotify. So if you prefer to listen to it there, go ahead and give it a follow on Spotify to kind of let it grow over there as well. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to Alex's channel, which I have linked down below, Thyme Thief. And then, yeah, other than that, have a wonderful day. And we'll catch you guys later.
Cool. Thanks for having us, Chris.
Yeah.